What's going on, guys? Rome here. So right now I'm going to do a little video about what is quickly becoming one of my favorite games. It's called Fate of the Elder Gods. Now this game is super fun, super thematic. What you're doing is you are leading a group of cultists, and each group of cultists, each player, is also going to have a specific elder god that they are trying to summon. So there's a summoning track, and you're trying to gain your summon points. And once you max out your summon points, your elder god is summoned to the altar, and the altar is destroyed. You win the game. Now, another another win condition is on that summon track, you can also gain elder signs. Now, normally in these Lovecraftian games, you like elder signs. Elder signs are good, but you're also normally playing as investigators. You're playing as the good guy, whereas in this, you are the bad guy. Now, if your summon or your elder signs on the summon track will go in reverse order of the points of the summoning points that you're getting. So if you fill up your summon track with elder signs, you automatically lose, and the player or the cultist group who has the least amount of elder signs would then win. So I think it's really cool that it's not the person who's highest up on the summon track who would win that. It's actually the person who has the least amount of elder signs, who has, gained the least amount of investigators and heat to their cult or their lodge, as it's referred to. So I think that's really cool. Now in the game, what you're doing is you are going to have spell cards. Now these spell cards will sort of refer to each of the areas on the board. And the spell cards, you can ready them and then cast them. When you ready them, they will be out on your player board or out on your lodge board, and you can only have 3 readied at a time. Now, to move around the board, you also use these same spell cards. So it's sort of this give and take. It's a balancing act to try to decide if you're going to use these to move to the specific space on the board, or whether you want to keep them and use them for the spell powers on the card. So I think that's a cool little twist. I really like games that have those, multiple use cards. That's really awesome. That's a neat twist. Now, when you're moving into these areas, each area will do a specific thing. So some areas are a little more powerful than others, but they all do different things that are going to help you out at certain points in the game. So you're not really going to want to just forget about one specific area. Now, that is where that balancing act really comes into play, because you might really need this spell, but you might really need to go to that area to stop somebody as well. So that's really cool. Each time you go to a space, you put one of your cultists out. You will also put an investigator out there. Now, the thing with the investigators is if you go to an area and there are 3 investigators there, that means that you're attracting heat, and those investigators will then go on your player board or go in your lodge. If you end your turn with 5 or more investigators in your lodge, then you are raided. And when you are raided, that means the investigators are raiding your lodge, or they're raiding your cult, and you're going to have to roll dice. And sometimes these dice are going to allow you to kill these investigators, and sometimes they're going to stay. Sometimes they'll give you elder signs. So that's how you gain your elder signs around the summoning track. That's really neat. There's also a lot of different spells and artifacts that are just sort of super spells, I guess you could say, that will allow you to manipulate those dice rolls. In the last game I played, somebody got an artifact right away and was able to manipulate almost every time he rolled for the raids and such. So that was really powerful for him to get those artifacts. This is an awesome game. I haven't played it with anybody who has disliked it. It's really cool. There's a lot of different things going on, but it's also very intuitive. It's not a super heavy game, but it's definitely not some, light game that you can just pick up at the snap of a finger. I would teach this game to brand new players. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to teach this game to brand new players because I think that the theme combined with the very intuitive mechanics, I think that meshes really well for just a good solid time for people who aren't, the biggest board gamers. So, if you're into the Lovecraft theme, I highly suggest this game. It's got a lot of these little Euro mechanics involved, whereas something like Mansions of Madness, that's not really all there for that. So, I highly recommend this game if you're into that theme. Even if you're not into this theme, it's still a fun game. You might not like it as much as I do, but I still think that everyone is going to get a kick out of this. You might not be thrilled, but I would be surprised to come across somebody who dislikes this game. I was able to play it a couple times with Chris Kirkman and Richard Launius at Grand Con last weekend. If you saw my Grand Con recap, you know that. It was the highlight of my weekend. I've played it a couple times since then, and I just want to play it again and again. I'm probably going to play it tonight. I can't get enough of it. Let me know what you guys think. If I'm wrong, if I'm right, if you want to add or extrapolate from something, just let me know. I'm really curious, everybody's thoughts. So as always, hit the little red subscribe button, liking on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Rome Knows Nothing, and I will catch you back here next time. Thanks.